Yeah, and so this is a verb. So it looks like we're gonna put it before Yananagan, um, cloudy.
Maybe if you have the word for sunset, because just right now it's sunset. It's
Okay,
becoming
yeah,
dark. Yeah.
yeah, we could do that too. Um, we need this curriculum. Granted, Dr. Algiers did a fantastic job on her weather section, but we need as much curriculum as possible. So yeah, we will do sunset present tense. Okay, so we are gonna do Aya Singai uh Ari Ah um oh, I can't copy what's up above. Um, um I gotta do uh shush dark. Um
Ak-
and then
Akia. Akia.
Yanangagan,
Ah,
big long verb. Um Yanangagan.
okay.
Today the weather in Paris was dark. We got two verbs. Yeah, we can do uh slash again Yanangagan. Um Today the weather in Paris was dark and cloudy. It could also mean um that it was overcast, dark and overcast, that type of thing. Okay. Um Now we're gonna do sunset. I feel a sneeze coming on. Sunset is two words. Ka isha.
Very
So
nice.
now I have to go to kakisha to see how it's conjugated.
Can you say that without spitting, no, Rob?
Yeah, there's a good thing there's a screen here. Okay. Is the sun setting right now? Who's
Yeah.
Kadangas?
Yes, yes.
Okay. We could just I'm taking this directly from the dictionary. Juyai, the sun, um, is setting, which also doubles as sunset.
Kisa.
So, Kishlong, present tense, um, the sun is setting. Okay, what about you, Kimdi, Kashli Hista, um, Sanu, Sultan, Ish Singai, Eden. How's the weather in Sultan?
Gorgeous outside,
Hmm,
sunny and um, not too hot.
okay, so we're gonna go around the room and everyone's gonna get asked about the weather. And never have too much curriculum. There's no such thing. Um, okay. Oh, MD Kashli Hista, you weren't here that day we decided to hide the eyes. We decided to hide the eyes Sultan like they did with Seattle and they changed it to Seattlein. So we
Okay.
did Sultan.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
uh, okay. So Sultan, uh, mhm. I don't know how to get too descriptive.
I mean,
You said
it
it was
kind of
not too
seems
warm.
no, it's warm. It's just not too hot. It's kind of like what it is in Paris. That might be appropriate.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay. So let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's take Custlas. Um and warm, yeah. And of course there's other phrases like Kli Ayat Singailasa, how nice the weather is today. Um, do today the weather in Sultan is nice and warm. Uh, Skin. Sanu, are you in Everett? Yes.
Yep.
Sanu Everett H. Singai Hidam.
Same as Sultan.
Oh, okay. Um,
Warm is 65.
oh, nice.
Sunny. I'm melting.
Send some of it this way.
It's above my comfort zone.
Hi,
So
Singai Kaustlai, um, Hutjawagan. Today the weather in Craig is stormy, which is typical. We get hurricane force winds and rain all the time. oh, Kimdi Ka, uh, Sanu, Yakima, H. Singai Hedon.
It's sunny, 71, and windy.
Oh, okay. Let's add the windy part. And I don't know if we're going to use Tajiwa. Taju. Taju. Okay. Oh, Tajuwai is the wind. Well, since we already have um, weather warm and nice a couple of times, let's do the wind part. So, Aya today, Singai, the weather, Yakima, Yakima, in Yakima, um, oh, I do have to use Taju because I need a verb. Tajugan. Well, let's do La Yen Tajugan. So now we have today the weather in Yakima is, it's going to sound like I'm describing the wind. Nice and windy. Okay. Okay, let me backtrack a little bit. Hindi Kashli Hishda, as you folks know, had a presentation on SHI on Wednesday. Unfortunately, I missed it. I was told it was at 1, and we had class at noon. So, but I could go back to SHI and watch it. I only got to catch a couple of questions at the end. So we're going to come to you in a little bit. MD Kashi Hishda. I'm going to skip Haida Nation Anthem today as I don't have the pipes to sing it. So we're going to do a class prayer, class greeting, go around the room and do our Haida introductions. And then Kimdi Kashi Hishda, your we'll talk about your AI presentation and what it means to saving Xaad Kil. And if we have time, we're going to go back to Q&A. We left off with radio waves. And if we have time, we're going to go back to where does Timmy live, to where we left off there. Okay, now that we have a roadmap, let's go to the class prayer. O Sangstanawai, O Sadnang Itlakdas, O Salana, Hugan Sudas, Kasant Itlanga Gudan. Have pity on what we are saying. Ad Gisingayam, Talan Kit Lagan. We thank you for this day. Ayat Atlan Itku, Kajkat Sangdalanga, Talan Kit Lagan. We thank you for gathering us here today. Hugan Talangas Das, Eat Kashlight. Whatever we're about to do, help us. The Mantalan Isda Ana, so that we could do it right. How a Simsanawai, how a Sanan Itlakdas, how a Salana, a Kun Anshitdar. Last greeting, ki tidasa, hadala isis, di tolan, atlan anas di gunai lagan, dalan isas es di gunai lagan, dalan es andi hangilgan, ayat kilan talang skatan, dalang ans kil lagan, jahawa had killed talang skata sin. Greetings, good people, my friends, my family. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that you guys have come. I'm honored with your presence. Today we are learning our language. I thank you guys. Thanks a lot. Let's learn Haida. Okay, Haida introductions. Hoot High is not going to be able to be here this week. So, Hoots Kadangas, you are first.
Hadala Isis Atlan an Alf di Gudenai Lagen. Sébastien Clermont Hinu di Kiang. Huts Kadangas Hinu Hot Kilf di Kiang. Di Tadai Tlalai Punal Hidang. Good people, I'm happy to be here. My name is Sébastien Clermont. My Haida nickname is Huts Kadangas. I'm 30 years old. How?
Well, okay. Skin.
Adela Isis, Atlan an Akti Goodnight Lagan. Big Bear Alexander, Hinu di Kiang. Gisken, Hinu hat Kikti Kiang. Dio hata skin. Sungat Kagwantan Udi Ijang. Good people, I'm happy to be here. My name is Big Bear Alexander. My Haida name is Gisken. I am Haida and Clinket. My clan is Kagwantan. How?
Well, Indica.
Padala Isis, Atlan an Alfdi Guden I Lagen. The Lunk Kings Alfdi Guden I Lagen. Tony Bennett, Hinu Kiang. Timdi Ka, Hinu Hadkifti Kiang. Good people, I'm happy to be here. Happy to see you folks. My name is Tony Bennett. Haida nickname is Kimdi Ka or Laughing Goat. Hawa U.
Well, Indi Kasli Hista.
Adala Isis, Atlanan Ath di Guding I Lagan, Nathan Bennett, who Hinu di Kiong, Kim di Kasli Hithda, Hinu Hot Kith di Kiong, Hawa, good people. I'm happy to be here. My name is Nathan Bennett. My Haida nickname is Kimdi Kahith Hildal Heathda. It means grumpy coat.
Well,
I
okay.
gotta shorten that one up. It's getting me, but we'll talk later.
Okay.
You're grumpy trying to pronounce it.
Exactly.
Okay. Kimdi Kasli Hista. Dashwe Gusu, your turn to speak.
Oh, um, yeah, I mean, I can share, the presentation went well, it seems. Got a chance to kind of, talk about, our languages that are primarily spoke at, Sea Alaska, you know, Lingit, Xaad Kil, and Smalyak. And, you know, I've gotten a chance over the last couple months to learn a little bit more about some of the nuances and richness of those languages, and had some time to reflect on some of the challenges around using AI models, and some of the ethical concerns about training these AI models to help us create tools to preserve our languages. Um, I worked on this presentation from a point of view, not just technically, some of the nuances and what it is to use AI to go ahead and revitalize these languages, but also some of the ethical concerns, some of the collaboration effort that needs to be done, I suppose, to make sure that it's successful and it's long lasting, and not just another tool and grant or something that could build a model up to do that. It seems like it was received pretty well. I saw a lot of light bulbs kind of turn on, and people told me that don't always understand what AI models are as well. And also, um, it got people thinking, I believe, a little bit about um, how do we build culture in our tech for indigenous languages and just overall. Um, and I learned from giving it that there is quite a bit of lack of resources, not necessarily in the language revitalization effort, but in the like technical capacity of our tribes. And even as I kind of laid down this presentation, it seemed to me that there still was a major dilemma around resources and who we could use to do something like this. And that was, a little bit surprising because it seems like a lot of people have been talking about this and really want things to happen. Um, but there isn't really a person, I think, that can drive this effort forward and kind of push it that way. So it's made me reflect a little bit and think about um, some of our communities up there in Southeast Alaska, the folks that we have in different villages that speak different languages, and how we might be able to help those people, maybe also use them as resources for this effort. So I'm planning on trying to compile some information and share a plan in the future to talk about that. I'd also like to give a version of this presentation to Clink It and Hide It, to see how they feel about it. And I also am hoping to connect with some folks that are in this call about some resources I could potentially talk to in on the boards of those organizations, as well as I'm trying to finish my enrollment for the Haida Nation to go talk to them as well about this, and even possibly for First Nations over in British Columbia. So you'll hear from me, like if there's anything, folks I'm interested in, I guess, on this call, liked or heard in the presentation, or wasn't, they didn't understand, does anyone have any questions or comments?
I like that you're interested in doing a presentation to Clinton Haida. Um, the more presentations that you do, the more light bulbs are going to go off, the more interest there's going to be. Um, I think it's really needed. I was at a conference, I probably told you, in Canada, and it was a huge First Nations uh, concert on language revitalization. And there was some people there in that knew about AI. Two of them were sitting at my table, and I uh, heard a speaker earlier speak about AI and speaking about how you could teach it the language, and then when you correct it, it'll go back through its database and correct the errors, not just, the current correction. It'll correct throughout its database. And so for me, a light bulb came on, and I was like, oh, I did not know that it had this capability. And then, of course, I spoke with you, and your wealth of knowledge about AI, and um, I'm wondering, how do we get this to um, NSF, the National Science Foundation, because they set aside $15 million just for Xaad Kil alone, and um, they wanted um, conversation, Xaad Kil conversation, and they wanted it recorded it and to be able to save it forever in case the language goes away or something like that. And it never got off that ground, but um, I was at the only meeting, the first and only meeting, and we got to pick out from the Haida tape library which elders you wanted to listen to. And of course, I picked a couple of my nannies, and then I picked one that had to do with Haida names. And it never went forward, but when we're looking for grants and stuff, I can't help but wonder, perhaps, um, perhaps NSF um, still has all these millions of dollars, and we could do, well, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, um, like if we did AI, and then also in that database was Xaad Kil conversation. Um, I think it could be both. Um, this $15 million has just been sitting somewhere, and um, it would be nice if we, in my mind, in my thinking, I have no idea if NSF would uh, be like-minded, but if with that $50 million grant, do AI and Xaad Kil conversation. Okay, I'm going to shut up. Someone else have a question?
No, we don't need to stick on this. I can discuss updates here and there. Yeah, there's a lot of grants out there. And from what I found, it seems like a lot of people want this. So we really need maybe to think of like plans on how to make things happen. So I'll uh I'll reach out. I'll discuss some stuff I've been thinking about. And we can all chat and see if it makes sense. By the way, I got a book, a children's book with Kelsey from SHI, and you were in it for the Xaad Kil language. Um, but they spell your name Doc Juice with DAG in the book rather than DAK.
Yes, it's because the K is the old orthography and the G is the new orthography. And the linguists don't always get it right. And so, in my thinking, well, I always preferred the elders' way. You guys know that. But not just because it's the elders' way, but from a practicality standpoint. So, my Haida name is very easy to pronounce. Um, It's
More than mine.
yeah, it's a duck like a flying bird, and then juice like apple juice. It's it's super easy. But when I spelled it with a G, it really confused some people. So they were calling me Doug Juice.
Or
And
dog juice.
yeah, it does not have the same ring. I did not like that. So for a few reasons, I changed the spelling of my name back to the way the elders would have spelled it. The elders had a habit of spelling it the way that it sounds. So I'm not Doug Juice, I'm Duck Juice. But yeah, good eye. I did change, and um sometimes I'll leave it with a G. Um and I do prefer it with a K. But yeah, good eye. Yeah, I helped with that little everyday Haida book. Um I was busy this spring writing up lots of children's stories. Um, and I don't have a publicist, so um, I do it the way the elders would have done it in the 1970s, which is so old school. I'll show you.
I just like to say, totally unbiased. I thought it was a fantastic presentation.
Totally
Thanks.
unbiased.
Thanks for the unbiased opinion.
I still I
You owe
still
your
can't
dad
wait
$100 for
to watch the recording.
that.
Um, because uh with AI, you know what you're talking about, and you knew how to answer all the questions. So yeah, I can't wait to watch it. Okay, here's one called Haida History, which I've been sharing on Haida genealogy.
Cool.
This little book is packed with Haida history. And so they just Xeroxed it off. Now, this is a copy of a copy. So they would have taken paper stock, and that would have been the jacket. And then they would have taken an industrial stapler, which I have, and then you just give it three hits with the stapler, and the book is done. Here's another one. You're getting Haida. Um, Again, it's a copy of copy because this is just Xerox paper. It would have had cardstock, which is
Mhm.
much more durable and longer lasting. But so I've been making my own books that way. Um, I'm the president of HIL, which stands for Haida Ethnology Advancing Language, and we had a workshop, and I give away a whole bunch of books for the bingo prizes. And then we also had door prizes. Um, but but yeah. Okay. I better get back to sharing screen. um,
And do you remember the one Auntie Lillian did?
which one was that?
The one that's mimeographed? Or basically what we used to get in grade school?
I remember
No,
the
I don't
mimeograph.
remember.
And that horrible, yes. And that lovely
Um,
smell.
are you talking
Uh,
about Lillian and Denzel Petfield?
yes.
Um, I recently went to Alaska Native Language Archive.edu and I was shocked. My very favorite recording is by Lillian Denzel. They called her Lil for short.
Uh,
Lil Petfield was her married name. And she had a recording on when the Haida met Spanish explorers. So she had this lovely melodic flow to the language,
mm-hmm.
and it just sounded like poetry. And then she would stop, and there would be this long pause. It was perfect for transcribing. You could take all your notes during that long pause, and then she would go back into the melodic flow. Um, and to try and mimic her. I won't do justice, of course, but Dung Susala, um, Hangi Lao. It was it was kind of like that. Um, it just sounded like poetry, like music to the ears, right? Geeskin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more than Uncle George Nixon, his booming voice.
Yeah, with
Yo, get him and Uncle Harry Hamilton together. Boy, couldn't understand a word they were saying, but they would laugh like crazy.
oh yeah. Um, I always used to wonder what the elders were laughing about. But funny things in Hard Kill is way funnier than in English. I mean, it really strikes your funny bone. Um, as a matter of fact, that conference I was in, this young girl, she was speaking her indigenous language and she sounded pretty good. But how she got interested is her aunties were always on the phone talking in their language and they would just be dying with laughter. And then so the daughter's like, that's it. I gotta know my language. I want to know what the heck they're saying. That's so gosh darn funny. So she got into it and she's happy with that choice. So that's good on her. Okay, where am I? What am I doing? Q&A.
You're rambling on.
Yeah, I'm good at that. Uh, today's a rambling type of day. Oh, it's a Monday. Yeah, I can blame it on Monday. We were on radio waves. Now, Kimdi Kashi Hishda, one of the thoughts we had with um, taking scientific terms and creating hot kill words to talk about these scientific things. The consensus was if we get enough scientific terms, of course, there would have to be thousands of more words, but um, there's lots of us that love developing uh, new hot kill terms. Um, anyways, down the road, you get enough scientific terms and enough scientific phrases in hot kill, then science could be taught in hot kill just like they do in the Hawaiian language. Okay, so
Would
there's
that
radio
be
wave.
Would that be adding to the current modern like dictionary, or would it be like a new orthography because there's new words altogether?
Um, there is a lot of talk about um, what is it called? Appendix. When
Mhm.
you're when you want to take all the words that were left out of the dictionary and 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 all the words that we're using now, like Hanskapju, curved fruit. That's our word for banana. That's not in the
Mhm.
dictionary. Um, our word for computer and cell phone, laptop, none of that's in the dictionary. There's a whole bunch more words. So there's lots of talk about um, compiling all the words and phrases that did not make uh, Dr. Jordan Latzler's dictionary. And we also need a Xaad Kil language board um, to determine if changes need to be made. Now, when it comes to airwaves, excuse me, I thought of airwaves as an invisible signal, but people will think of it differently. My student was adamant that it should be shadow waves, so that that stuck.
So why would they think that airwaves are alive and not inanimate? Did he have a reason for that?
No. This is where a Xaad Kil language board would come into play.
Yeah.
And you know, why did you pick this word? We think it should be more like this, that type of thing. Um, so yeah, she was adamant it should be Hunt's Hayu Airwaves. So we went with Airwaves. Um, for radio waves, uh, shadow waves, clearly audio or audible. Um, shadow waves that you can hear clearly. Okay, so yes, we did
Yeah.
all of the radio phrases.
My only problem with that is the shadow you can see.
Yeah, someone else mentioned that too. I think it was Hoot High. And so we might end up changing all of these. Um,
Is there a word for like air or breath?
yeah. Um,
Yeah,
so
I see air.
that is SAAG, SAAG. That's like in the air, but that's fine. Airwaves are in the air. Air could also just be sun. Because it's the same word for weather. Saw, in the air. Sock is into the air. Hajao could also be air, although we use it more with wind. So if we go back to invisible signal and we wanted to use air, we could do sun. You can't see the air. And then this word is not our dialect, but Kuyan, who's fluent in Xaad Kil, told us when he was teaching advanced Haida to, if it's not in your dialect, find it in another dialect. If it's not in another dialect, find it in another indigenous language and borrow. So this looks like Skidegate to me. Certainly doesn't look like northern Xaad Kil. So Itzi Hunda is signal with. I threw this in, not knowing if it would help or not. Hangala, unbeknownst to, in other words, you wouldn't see it, but if we put air and signal with together, we would have sun itzi hunda. Any better?
Yeah, I think so.
Both? Should I put a pin in this, guys, until we know more? Because I hate to teach you these words and phrases this week and then find out they're going to be different 2 weeks from now. Okay, we'll come back to it because I've heard some doubts about Hunt's Hayu shadow waves. So that bit of doubt is enough to go, wait a minute, hold on here. Maybe those aren't the right words. Okay. So where does Timmy live? Before we got to airways, we were doing directions. And this is actually a spin-off of um, comedian Dave Chappelle's uh, relationship with his friend Timmy. Now, I don't know anything about Timmy except for he's Caucasian. And that he grew up in a little bit uh, nicer house than Dave. Um, Dave admitted when he was talking to other famous people that used to live in the projects and how the projects were, Dave would just fib and say, word, my man, word. And pretending like he knew what it was to grow up in the projects. He grew up outside the projects, but just, like barely. Um, so not everything worked in his house. And then he ends up staying at Jimmy's house. And, he gets to play video games and watch movies and have popcorn. And he's all excited because they're going to have stove top stuffing, which you only seen in commercials. So this is going really far back. This has got to be the 1970s. and and so he has a great time at Jimmy's house, and he comes back home, and he literally tells his parents, "Y'all need to step your game up." And then he says this. He said, "Everything works at Jimmy's house." So so some of this really happened. Some of it is filler, like when I say they ate a ham dinner with all the trimmings. Okay, in this story, we finished off right here. Timmy Nai Guish Kagan. I'm walking to or towards Timmy's house. So now we have wait, Timmy Nai. Oh, holy, it's 12:54. I only have a few minutes left. Wait, Timmy,
Wow.
Timmy Nai U Ananas Ejun. I'm close to Timmy's house now. And I had to say that he was walking towards Timmy's house and he was close because Timmy calls out to him. So we'll go around the room and say this line. Wait, Timmy Nai. Wait, Timmy Nai U Ananas Ejun. Wait, Timmy Nai U Ananas Ejun. So that's the breakup. Otherwise, it sounds odd. If we say wait, Timmy Nye, and then pause, and then go into anonymous, it sounds stilted. But if we say wait, Timmy Nye oo first, anonymous egen, it has a better flow and we don't run out of breath. Wait, Timmy Nye oo, anonymous egen. Kimdi Kashli Hesta.
Wait, Timmy Naiu Ana Nath Ejang.
On Indika.
Wait, wait, Chiminayu, Anathna Ej.
On Giskin.
Wait, Timmy and I, Ananak, Ejang.
On Hoots Kadungas.
Wait, Timinayu ananas ijan.
On Ulagan. And so Timmy Sugan, Timmy says, Dave, um, I'm, um, I'm looking at my phonetics, seeing if it matches up, and I'm not sure it does. Because this is not kya, this is kya. So I need to put an E here. So Dave Anch Kya Gong Gun. Timmy Sugan. Dave Anch Kya Gongun, Timmy Sugan, Dave Ansh, Kya Gongun, Timmy Sugan, Dave Ansh, Kya Gongun. Timmy says, Dave, I'm calling out to you. Hindi Kashli Hista,
Timmy Sugang, Dave Uth, Kia Gongung,
Ang, Kindika,
Timmy Sugang, Dave Ant Yangang.
Ang, Iskin, Hoots Kadangas,
Timmy Sugang, Dave, and Alf Kiagangang.
Okay. We have, I think we can, Dave, so Dave replies, Dave Sugan, on Deek Dung. Here's another one. This is, yeah, on Deek Dung, Kyagungs, Udungun. Now this is a little tricky. I don't think we're going to have enough time. The S here isn't a problem. It would be easy to say this would be Kyagungs. The problem is, I'm going to fix the problem. We're going to make it oof, which is much easier to just say than Kyagyang. So this is going to change. Oops. Kyagungs. Oof. Gudungun. Dave Sugan on Dikdung Kyagungs Oof Gudungun. That has a much better flow instead of being stilted. So Dave replies, yes, I hear you calling me. So I'm going to change this because we can to replies. Okay. So we're not going to go around the room because we're out of time, but I'm going to write down that we need to finish by hearing calling. So when we come back on Wednesday, we know where we left off.
Did you send this document out already?
That's a good question. Whoops, I shouldn't have stopped shared. If I share it from here, it'll be a live document. And whenever I make changes to it, if I do, it'll change your document as well. So let's see if we have everybody in here. Skin, is this a good email for you? Heidelberg
Yep.
56. Okay. And then who's Cadonas? Oh, I also better do Hoot High. Okay, now you have it,
Oh,
and we might very well be making changes to it on Wednesday. If we do, you won't have to worry. Your document will be corrected. I want to thank everyone for being here. Sang Sunista Dylan Watchman's King Song. I'll see all you folks on Wednesday. Au,
Oh,
Uh,
Singai
Asang
La,
Witzlu.
Sau. Have a good day, you guys.